What is up, everybody? I am Kevin Iole. Good morning to you. I appreciate you joining me. You see that face now. A couple of weeks ago, a couple black and blue marks on it. It was a little bit of a rough fight, but he came through. Roman Dolidze defeated Marvin Vettori in Las Vegas on UFC Fight Night on March 15th. I would dare say that was the best performance of your career. Congratulations. Were you happy with that effort?
Every fight is important for me, and win is win. And I'm just very happy. But of course, most important thing for me was just to show everybody that I can go hard 5 rounds, and I think I did it exactly how I needed to do. And fourth and fifth round was probably best rounds for that fight for me.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought that you really kind of closed the show strong, and that was impressive. He hurt you early on, and it seemed like after you got hurt, that's when you started to fight better. Was there something like that clicked inside of your head that said, come on, Roman, you got to pick this up now?
No, nothing was like that. I was just prepared for everything what he can offer, and I just knew that I need to go. And after the third round, I go to my corner and ask these guys, "Listen, tell me how is the score? How many rounds we got? How many rounds he have?" And they told me that they think we got 2 rounds and he had one, and they say you just need to go harder. I said, okay, I will go harder. And that's all. For this fight, I have a game plan because I'm always fighting with anger. And I was telling to myself, listen, Roman, this time you need to like a little bit control your anger, and that's all.
It's interesting you say that because you're a veteran. You've been around a long time. And the one thing that I think I first heard fighters say when I first started covering sport is don't fight angry, like don't bring emotions into it. So how did you be so successful for so long having that, where you're bringing anger into it?
With me, I think anger is my good side. It's exactly who I am and how I am and how I'm fighting always. And if you will watch my previous fights with Kyle Darkas, if you watch fight Hadisi Bragimov or Phil Hose or other guys, I was just going there 100% in first round. Yes, I was knocking them out in first round
Mm-hmm.
mostly, but on this high level, top 10 guys, you need to manage your energy, and that was a key for me to understand that. Listen, now you just need to control that anger, stay the same anger, but not go hard 100% in first rounds, and it's all.
You got to have the brain and the body going at the same time, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the
smart.
key thing. Well, you mentioned, when you're in the top 10 and you are ranked number 8 now. Jared Cannonier is number 7 right above you. Fluffy Hernandez, who is on a
Yeah,
roll, is number 9
yeah.
right behind you. So some good guys, ranked right around you. That puts you in a position once you're in the top 10, now I think you legitimately become a title contender, right? Is that how you see it? Like, do you feel like now that you're in the top 10 that people can take you seriously as a championship contender?
They always need to take me seriously. They don't need to. If they will blink, I will do something bad. And yeah, and I always was going good in my career. I have like 9 wins in UFC, like
Mm-hmm.
three in a row bonuses performance of the night. And it's just some people forget what kind of power I have, and I just need to remind them, and it's all. And I think this fight was a great example that another thing what they thought that I have problem with my cardio doesn't exist anymore. I can go hard 5 rounds, and it's answer power, good cardio, good jujitsu. What else they need?
Yeah. I wonder if you noticed this when you watched the fight back. When the decision was announced, Marvin thought he had won the fight. And, he kind of like was shocked, like sort of when,
Yeah.
when it was announced. I actually had it 4-1 in your favor. Some of the people
Yeah.
had it, I think a couple of the judges had it 3-2 in your favor. Were you
No, no
surprised? He
judges.
thought Was that?
Nobody, no judge have 3-2. It was 4-1. Everybody, all judges. All,
Yeah, and I mean he was like shocked, but he was also shocked that he lost to Adesanya. I think when it was probably 5-0 in that fight. So what was your reaction when you see him kind of a little bit surprised afterwards?
I think that he wasn't surprised because if you will look fight right the final bell, he was just staring to the wall, don't not celebrating, don't doing nothing, you know. And I was the one there walking around and showing to everybody, listen, I won this fight, and I was 100% sure. I think he wasn't surprised at all. Maybe how he wanted to be like to win the fight, but I don't think that he was surprised. If he was
Right.
surprised, he can just go and rewatch the fight, and that's all.
Yeah. If he believes that he won, then I think unfortunately he's the only one that thought that. So I think even his corner knew that that you had won that
Yeah,
fight.
yeah,
So where does that take you now? So I know that you had talked about Adesanya and Robert Whittaker, and they are ranked 4 and 5, the former champions in the division. I think right now you're kind of looking at the top three: Imavov, Strickland, and Chimaev, maybe off limits for you at this point. You need
yeah,
another win to get to that point, but it seems like everybody from 4 on down might be in play for you.
yeah.
What have you heard? Did Adesanya or Whittaker respond to your call out? Have you heard anything? Have you talked to the UFC at all about what's next?
I didn't talk with UFC, nothing yet, but Whitaker gave me some answer. Like he gave him good excuse to himself why he doesn't want to fight me. That looked a little bit funny and childish for me, but no, no worries, no problem. With Adesanya didn't say nothing, but these two guys who I mentioned, they both make sense. They both are coming out from lose. I think Adesanya is 3 in a row losing. I'm not saying they are bad fighters. I'm not trying to say this. I'm just saying what's realistic things going
Right.
on in our division. And Whitaker also he lost very bad. This was like mm, uh, it was like bad loss. Very very bad look. And I don't think that he can speak anything at all about him and how things going on. And when I mentioned these two guys, just because it's realistic and they make sense, and they also need opponents, and why not?
You were going to be 37 in July, so probably by the next time you fight, you're going to be at your 37th birthday. And there's a lot of, mid 30 contenders in this division, right? This is one of the older divisions, I think, in the UFC in terms of the top guys, right? Dricus is over 30 and the champion, and a lot of people are up there. How do you think that affects your age, affects the way you approach things? Like, do you have more of a sense of urgency now, knowing, hey, I'm not 27, I'm in my mid 30s, and you don't have as long left as you might have had when you were in your 20s?
I can't speak about everybody, but I will say about myself that I started MMA very late, and that's why from fight to fight, especially now where I am in my career, I feel better and better, and I have more understanding of the game, what I need to do and how I need to do. I'm preparing much better. I'm cutting weight much better. And in the end of the everything, I'm feeling much better. Like how I
Mm-hmm.
feel my body. That's exactly what I want to know when I'm going there to the cage. That I'm 100% ready for this fight. And I feel good. I feel strongest than ever, mentally strongest than ever, and that's all what I need to know when I'm going there. Age is just number for me. Especially I don't have much injuries because I started very late, and even if you look my fights, I don't get much heat. No, not so bad like other guys, and that's why I still fresh and I'm still growing. And every day I'm still learning something new.
I saw in the corner that night you had the bantamweight champion Merab Dvalishvili in your corner. He seemed like he was pretty fired up during the fight, right? Like when you have another fighter in the corner, like so they tend to get more emotional maybe than the coaches get, right? The coaches, kind of. What was it like, having him in the corner and kind of trying to pump you up and motivate you between rounds?
Yeah. Merab is a good guy. Merab is always energizer. This is how he is, and that's all. And I will not say that I have some extra pressure when I have somebody like him in my corner. Even if somebody's saying to me, "Hey, let's go. You need to go hard. You need to go harder. You need to go forward." That's exactly what I need to know. But
Hmm.
most important thing is just for me to know the time, what time, and how long is still bell, and also what's going on with rounds. And Merab was very good in this. And also when what you mentioned in third round when I got a little bit hit by from Marvin, and Merab was telling to me, Roman, move, 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 and I was listening him. It's always good to have in your corner somebody who you trust.
Right. Yeah, and I thought Eric Nixick showed a lot of trust in Marab because he
Of course.
gave you instructions, and he turned to Marab and said, "Hey, what do you got?" Right? Because to me, it would have been, he's a coach of the year, one of the best coaches in the
Yeah.
sport, and he could have taken that time himself to talk to you, but he turned around and he showed trust in Marab by giving Marab the
Yeah.
chance to talk.
Eric is smart guy. Eric's so long in fighting and he understands what he's doing. That's why I think if he gave word to Merab to say something, that's exactly how it need to be. And also, I had sometimes questions to Merab, and that's probably it. So I was always asking to Merab, what about rounds? What about rounds? And he was telling.
Right.
Sometimes
Do
we was
you?
speaking Georgia.
Oh yeah, exactly, exactly.
It's
Now,
like
when you're
secret
fighting,
tip. It's
say it again.
secret. It's secret tip from us for us.
A little. Okay, well there we go. So when you're in there, do you have a sense of it's going, hey, I'm doing well in this round or not, or do you need that validation from somebody else?
I'm sorry. Can you say one more time because internet
Sure.
was bad?
When you're fighting, do you have an idea of where you stand in the round, or do you
Okay.
need somebody from the outside to kind of give you an idea? Hey, Roman, you need to push, you're behind, or hey, you're doing good, you're ahead.
Yes. Sometimes, of course, I understand that everything is going good, but when the rounds are closed, of course, I need their point of view, how they see the fight. And of course, it's important, especially when it's close fight and you don't see quite good the picture and image how things are going. And that's why, and how I already said that most important is time for me. How long? 1 minute, 2 minutes, 2.5, and this most more important.
Interesting. Well, let's wrap up with this. When do we expect you back? Like when, if you had it your way, when do you want to be back in the octagon? And will you do two fights this year or three?
I want to fight this year 3 times minimum. Let's
Okay.
start from this. Second, if you know my career, probably every year of my career I had short notice fights, like 1 week notice fights, and I'm the guy who is always ready. But for
Right.
now, for where I am now, the fight need to make sense for me to do like 1 week notice. And of
Right.
course, I will and I can do 1 week notice fights, but fight need to make sense for me. And sometimes there are good opportunities for me, and I'm always ready. And UFC also knows about it. That's why I can tell exactly when I want to be back because I want to be back tomorrow,
Right.
but nobody nobody knows what they will offer to me. But
Exactly.
let's say realistically, probably it will be June, July, sometime in summer.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. And last thing, and we will wrap up with this then. So, given where you're ranked number 8, have you set kind of like a hard rule? Hey, I'm not fighting anybody below me, or would you consider a Fluffy Hernandez or somebody like that if they offered you somebody that way?
I think I deserve to fight upper ranked opponents. I deserve because I'm winning fights, and before Marvin, I fought guys who didn't do nothing for my career, like Anthony Smith. I fought him because I thought I will be top 10 ranked in two weight classes.
Right.
And after I fought Kevin Holland, who wasn't ranked at all, but I
Right.
knew that he's a famous guy. I just need to take some of his hype when I did it. And Marvin, of course, was higher ranked than me, and it was exactly fight what I need. And I deserve to fight up. But if there will be something interesting, like look, I'm looking like on a fight like Bonical and the Reader guy. And even before I say that I want to fight Bonical just because he have hype, and I don't understand the reason. Maybe just
Right.
because he's American, and that's the main key of success. And I, and in UFC, and I think And that if he wins the fight, maybe it will be interesting for me. But I don't know. I think I deserve to fight higher ranked opponents. But if we will think somebody not ranked, maybe him if he wins.
Okay. Well, we're going to find out soon because he just come off a really good performance on a 3-fight winning streak. Roman Dolidze, appreciate your time once again. Wish you the best of luck, my friend, and we will see you soon.
Thank you
Be
and
well.
have a good day.
You too.